And we're live. Hey, folks, and to anyone watching on our Twitch stream as well as over on Facebook, the Forgotten Ruin Facebook page. Just wanted to say, yo, and we're here answering questions about the Kickstarter. So to start things off, I'm Walt, and I'm running a pencil to, jab numbers and, scribble stuff. And we have here one of the co-creators of Forgotten Ruin, Mr. Nick Cole.
I am happy to be here, and it's been a long time since we've been back on this channel, though I think the channel has been running and you guys have been doing games, but it started as one thing, and it's continued to develop and morph into another thing. I hope people are still tuning in and enjoying it.
Absolutely. We actually get a lot of feedback from the people that log in and watch us every week play games, which is really nice. It's nice to have some fan engagement and people come in and make fun of us. And we of course have Sparky and Sinokin who regularly join us, and El Berzadente from across the pond over in Europe. He's always funny to throw cucumber emojis at us for some reason. So yeah, it's been pretty cool.
I still want to do our recon game. That would be fun.
Waiting on you.
Yeah,
I actually have the rules right here.
He's all, please say recon.
Yes, I love recon.
I know, and I'm so right now immersed in MacV and SOG stuff and everything like that. I'm like, oh, I would love to run this, but I've got to finish Works in Progress, and then I've got to finish Strange Company 2, and then I think this summer. But today we're here to talk about the Forgotten Ruin Kickstarter, and what I'm excited about that is it's killing the stretch goals, which is great.
Yeah.
But one of the stretch goals that I don't think we've revealed yet would be, like, we can kind of tease it a little, but like it would be a project that I could I told myself, like, I will take the summer off and write that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I just get it like a cottage. I'm like looking at this little cottage down in South Laguna, and I was like, man, I could just sit out there on the deck all day and just make up shit about Forgotten Ruin.
Right. How cool would that be?
Yeah, that would be like a bucket list. Some people in this life want to eat a giant hoagie. I want to write the Forgotten Ruin source book.
Well, it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Forgotten Ruin source book would be absolutely dope.
It would be fun for me too, because then I could go back and kind of organize the world and make sure I haven't missed anything. And then what I really want to do is explore and expand the world, and then get to that risk game where I would then take the map behind you and then divide it up and then start, like a risk board. That would be fun.
Yeah, we did a little bit of that in the Forgotten Ruin RPG. So in the back of the book, there's we have like a little kind of like a heads up section.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not really familiar with Forgotten Ruin, wrong screen. If you're not really familiar with Forgotten Ruin, here's just a taste of what you could find there. So we let me just go there, and then we go all the way down here. Oh, monster. So yeah, you got the map all split up with like little places of interest, and what the area. Of course, I had to go with our friend, but yeah. So we split up the map, and kind of gave everybody a little taste of what's in what places, and the dangers they might face, and what they could potentially, because I mean, this map is gorgeous.
Yeah, I really loved, and it was a long haul to get this map. We had one guy that we initially fired, and he's like supposedly like the premier greatest map maker, and he just went ghost on us for like 6 months.
Really?
And yeah, I laid into that cat like no tomorrow. Like when he called and just gave some lame apology, it was like I was like this. It was all, and
you went like all Emperor ultimate power.
Oh my gosh, he'd so pissed me off. And I rarely light people up and stuff like that, but I think even Jason was like, it was in the world of creation, and you and I have talked about this, like artists are funky, man. I like them and everything like that.
Yeah.
But man, when they ghost you, they ghost you. And it's like, that's, and having a military background, ghosting is nowhere in the FMs.
Yeah, no bueno.
Like you communicate and you tell me what the hell's going on. I don't even think they have FMs anymore. That's how old I am.
No, CTs now,
Oh,
CTMs,
CT.
CTs,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we broke up everything, and based on what we've been able to glean from the book, Australia, no word from the land down under yet. We kind of we kind of just took some of the lore from the books and spread it out over the page so people could get a taste. But of course, at the end, right after that section, we of course have the place where you can find all of that information.
Yeah.
And if you hover your mouse over the PDF, it'll actually bring you to the page where you can get them. So,
oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, to have a dedicated source book like that would be dope.
Yeah, I think so too. And it would really kind of round out the world and give people more ideas about how to like play the things that they want to play with and do. So I hope we reach that. What stretch goals did we just release today?
So let's see. I have it right here, and
we've fulfilled within 2 hours, right? What that we
Yep.
What do you call that?
We funded
in 2 hours.
So as of right now, this is what our stretch goals look like, and we are at 20,000. So which means that we started with additional art. We have an adventure written by Operation White Box guy Pete Spahn. I'm going to be doing a Supers variant, so that is the same game system we're going to be using for the Galaxy's Edge role-playing game. Then, of course, the special edition hardcover, more art, more game content, the Smadges threat assessment for Forgotten Ruin, unique monsters and NPCs, combat rules at 25,000. And then our next stretch goal, I do believe, is the world book, so the source book.
Oh, okay. I thought that was higher, but yeah, see, there you go, right there.
So, and as we were talking about on Mike Lafferty's Banff podcast a minute ago, here comes El Berzadente with the cucumbers.
Hey, there he is. Hit me with a cucumber.
And it's funny too, because when we were initially doing our play test of the Forgotten Ruin role-playing game, El Berzadente set in on a session where you guys attacked a village from a helicopter, and that's where we started talking about the old Recon game and actually playing that game. That was a lot of fun.
I love that game. That was really fun. That did take me. I think that's where I kind of like started thinking like, man, I miss Recon. That was great. But this is better.
Do like a Mac v SOG version of Recon, and
I think like in book 5, we did figure out that someone from Vietnam, Mac v SOG, ended up in the ruin. Mm-hmm. And we know that the Delta team arrived in the ruin 8,000 years ago and basically conquered it, and then turned into Lich Lords. So we got to figure out what their story is. The ruin is. I mean, I think what I like about the ruin is it's kind of the ultimate sandbox.
Yeah.
Which is what, like for me, and I think about this a lot lately, like this week, I started thinking about computer games a lot. And I actually started playing Elden Ring. I'm enjoying that.
Oh, how is it?
I like it. It's fun. Like I wasn't sure at first, like I'm like, I've bought so many games lately and been absolutely disappointed. Battlefield. But this one, I was like, I only got to play for like a couple of hours and I was like, wow, I really like this. But still at the end of the day, every game is, other than Minecraft, is going to be totally on the rails. And what I really like about this is there is a game that you can play, you can follow the books and everything like that. But what I like that what we're doing is we're building a whole sandbox and people can do whatever they want with it. And we were just discussing over the Banff podcast, like, yeah, we intend to get to where you can have your own F-15 and a carrier group and attack a dragon. But right now it's small unit action and you're going to have to do some stuff. But as we know from the books, we've met some helicopter units. We have some drone capabilities, stuff like that. So it's a pretty exciting place, but it's all under the Wargate concept. And so we have 2 other authors right now. Sort of one guy delved into Marsoc, and the other guy is developing into Special Forces A teams on Mars in sort of a John Carter kind of thing. And so what I really think about this is like we did something really brilliant, and we're taking no credit from it. We're just saying thank you God. But we just established the premise, which is modern military combat units, fantasy universe, and then Walt Robillard was actually, I say Robillard, I'm sorry, but it's Robillard.
I answer to all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm speaking to my family, they say Robillard.
Yeah, because that's the French way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but in America we're going to say Robillard.
Absolutely. Like I said, I answer to it all.
Hey, you. But what was I saying?
You were talking
something important. Oh, you coined the phrase "perpetual taco machine," which is the Forge.
Yeah. I mean, because that's how a ranger would see it.
Yeah,
because they either.
That's only a wise, brilliant person would understand that if you were given a machine that could give you anything you wanted, why would you not print out unlimited? And for me, it's hard shell greasy tacos. But yep. I come from California, so it's all like, here's a blue corn tortilla with light fish and a pico de gallo mango salsa, and I've eaten that my whole life, or like what I really like is Wahoo's, and Wahoo's is going to be like, here's a plain tortilla, here's some shredded cabbage on it, here's some really good grilled fish, and then rice and black beans, which is very Hawaiian kind of food, and that's what you eat. But when I was a kid in the 70s, the only taco joints were like, we took a taco and then we deep fried it. And then we put a bunch of hot sauce on it. And that's like, as I get older in life, that's the only kind of tacos I want to eat. I just want to eat like really crappy deep fried tacos.
That's awesome.
No.
Hey, wanted to say thanks to Above the Universe, who's watching us on Twitch. And he does love fish tacos.
I love fish tacos too.
He just subscribed at tier 1 for 11 months. Yes. Also, he's gifting. Oh my God. He just gifted 1 tier 1 sub to the old school gaming community. Total of 33 subs out to that. That's crazy, dude. Thank you so much for that. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
We know who Above the Universe is. It's Angry from the Galaxy's Edge Insiders. Awesome. Nice to see you, ma'am. But yeah, that's fantastic. But yeah, thank you so much for doing that. And we really appreciate the support that's keeping us gaming every Monday, trying out new systems. And one of our upcoming games, we're probably going to run a quick, maybe even Mac v SOG game of Forgotten Ruin, because we actually got a PM from one of the backers. So he contacted me on Facebook and he's like, "Hey, I'm one of the backers on the Kickstarter. How hard would it be to run this in like Vietnam era?" And I said, "Not hard at all." So I showed him some quick adjustments, and this weekend he is running Savage in the Jungle is the name of his game, and it's going to be VC supported by werewolves against a like a platoon style squad.
Yeah. And Savage in the Jungle was my dancer name at Chippendales after I got out of the military in 93. It's a little act I had worked out.
Oh, God. We have Billy coming in. The session I sat in on inspired the Sao T guy, so now I'm making him as a character in the game. Ta-da!
Make sure to bring a light jacket. I think it's going to get a little misty.
Above the Universe, which is Angry, is asking, how are you going to schedule the backer sessions for the QRF tiers? Both the QRF and the command tiers, we will not schedule anything until the Kickstarter ends, because one of the things that happens a lot of times is when people subscribe at some of these tiers, especially higher tiers that can be considered kind of expensive, they'll ride the Kickstarter train all the way to the end, and then you'll have people who will back out. They will cancel their pledge, they'll pull their money and funding, and they'll just be like, nah, I got out of this what I think I needed, I'm gone. Now, we're not saying that the people that are in these tiers are going to do that, but we're saying that it's a risk that we that are aware of and that we should be cognizant of. So to do any planning just yet is probably not a good idea on our part, because it would involve a lot of contacting, a lot of scheduling, a lot of bouncing things back and forth to figure out where everything's going to fit. But once this is done, once they close the book and everybody is locked in, we're going to schedule like an email chain. We'll get everybody involved. Everybody will be on that, or we could set up a Discord where we can just type it out as we need to, and we'll hammer those details out so that if you've scheduled a game with me, I'll be very flexible to make sure that you guys are going to have the best gaming experience. So you're not going to have to worry about timing. You're not going to have to worry about whatever. We'll schedule it properly. Same thing with the command staff level. That involves both Nick and Jason jumping into a game. Like, wait, did I agree to this? Those games will also be scheduled so that you guys are going to have the most fun, the most bang for your buck, and that you're going to have a good time, so you're not worrying about your schedule. So,
and both Jason and I are really good at gaming. We have a lot of fun. Jason does great voices.
He does
and I
great
do a
voices.
lot of weird shit. But
we have video evidence of all of that.
Yeah, we have fun. We have fun. But like, I think the game is really going to be the genesis of the Forgotten Ruin community. Whereas, you know, like GE has the fan page and everything like that. But I think what I think is really cool is a lot of people who've never gamed before are like, I want to do this. And then like one guy who's a Ranger sniper wrote me the other day, and he said, like, I've always wanted to play games, but everybody made fun of me. And so I played hockey. And he's like, but I've always wanted to play this. And he's like, should I jump in? And I'm like, yeah, we will show you how this is done. So I think we're all going to kind of come along and build something here. Like I said, I want to get to where we have our own quarterly kind of Dragon magazine, and everybody's involved in creating content and really fleshing this out, so that when the TV series comes along, we can all sue each other for rights.
Oh God. Oh, the lawyers.
Yeah, I don't care. I live on an island now. I mean, that's in the future. I live on the island. But
gotcha.
You know, I don't care.
Some
people want to watch civilization burn through legal warfare, and that's part of me. But I'm also not afraid to say that I want to watch it burn through kinetic weapons.
By kinetic weapons, are you talking about Thor missiles, rods from God, stuff like that?
Oh yeah. Hey, you know, I think this week is everything's on the table. Like, you know, like I think what I think is, I don't think that this is so much a war as like a sort of weapons convention. and like the, you know, the first few days, like if you go to Comic-Con, like there's definitely like
feeling it out.
Like, yeah, like the first day is kind of like when you go with all the, like, there's nothing good on Friday. You know, like it's all just like, or Thursday is like all vendor day, you know, and you get together with your buddies and they'll be like, oh, you know, here's this thing. But then on Saturday is where everything gets really crazy. And then Sunday is loser day. Sunday's like, let's have a beauty contest for all the whores in the lobby. You know? But Saturday is where like Robert Downey Jr. like lands in an Iron Man suit, and, you know, like every 5 minutes, something like that. So I think what we're about to see is a debut of a bunch of new weapons everybody was hiding. Like, didn't think we had that one, huh?
Above the universe, that would be angry, wants to know, what color is your Ferrari going to be?
I am partial to ghost gray, silver with a cream or tan interior. I'm not a red guy or anything like that. I like silver. I like white. I like racing green, those kind of things. But you know, I'll take what I can get, so I can break it and park it on the lawn.
Archangel is saying at the $0 tier, I'll provide a weather briefing for the Ruin as we prep for an assault. You need to get with me after, because if you want to provide that, we'll do the video. We'll help you do the video, and then we'll present that as someplace in this Kickstarter. Having a Sauti guy being like, the weather is not conducive to Harpy indirect today.
Here's what I think we should do. This would be a great thing. There's a little form, and it says the Sauti, like this, like, you know, like kind of like Cameo. He'll record a phone message for you. So it says monster type, weather type, and then the name of the person.
Oh,
And
that's
so
awesome.
basically he comes in and he says, Bob's busy right now, but Bob's busy right now fighting trolls. It's a windy day with winds out of the south. So you're probably going to want to dress in a light vest
Oh
and
my
maybe
God.
just your chest rig, no battle armor. It's going to be a little hotter. There will be chafing, and then make sure to use a little lip balm. Little lip balm. That would be like it, like that would be like if we had that, we could all have Ferraris, don't you think?
Right. Archangel is saying he's down for that, and also he does have a laser pointer,
Yeah.
so you can point at all the maps. Uh,
I have a
yeah.
laser pointer, but if I pointed at something, I think I might get arrested.
We don't talk about Pack 4. But yeah. So, but yeah, I think it's cool that so many people are coming out, and we're getting a lot of messages from people like, "Hey, I've never played a game before. Um, is this hard?" And it's like we specifically tailored the game so that at its core it's easy to learn, because it's just basic old D&D where you roll this number and try to get this number.
Yeah.
um, and one of the great things about when Swords and Wizardry did their conversion of like that old fantasy game, they did a couple of smart things, but they did something that really kind of helps people learn the game. And one of the tough things that really puts people off is armor class, because you have this number from 1 to 18 as your stat that gives you a certain bonus. And the higher the number, the better. But on an armor class, the lower of the number, the better it is. But yet you need to hit a high number to hit it. So it has a tendency to confuse new players. So what the guys over at Frog God did when they started putting their things together back before it was like Frog God, they created ascending armor class. So instead of trying to look at this table and piece together what you needed, an armor class starts at 9. A certain number of pieces of armor gives you this many points up. So if your armor class starts at 9, you're wearing this armor, and it takes 13. It takes the armor class to 13. You need to get a 13 or higher to hit it on a d20. So it took a lot of the complication out, and that's still in the game. So if you look at our game, when you go to do it, there's both descending and ascending armor class. So if you want the easy way to go, you can go to the book and just pick whatever method you want.
Yeah. If
So
you can make choices and do math, then you can do these kind of games. And I think the new games, whenever I'm sort of like, I have to play a new game, or I go to a friend's house and they're like, oh, I want to teach you this new game and whatever. Like, things have gotten so weird and ephemeral, and like suddenly you're pulling out cards, and and then I think there's sort of the game we won't talk about that's in its latest 5th edition. And like there's all these emotive factors, and everybody's a winner and blah blah blah. And it's like the reason a lot of us kind of got into this old school gaming is we were all kind of nerds to an extent, and so we did well in STEM, math, and science and stuff like that. But then we read a lot of science fiction, and we thought, well, wouldn't that be cool if you could go into a dungeon and kill some dude who thought his stuff was his and you could take it for yourself? And he's like, I'm Gribbrag the orc, and I worked really hard for this sack of gold. And you're like, fuck you. And you and 6 of your Murdo friends like basically decapitated and then played bowling with his head. And then that was fun, but that was all based on math and choices. The bad decision to go kill Gribgrab, and then the math that led up to his unfortunate decapitation.
Arthur J. Mack is saying we should seduce a beholder. Sparky comes in and says the speed of combat in old school versus the edition that shall not be named is amazing, and it really is, because the thing about the current edition of the world's most popular fantasy game is that you're looking at a superhero game versus a fantasy game. So in the current edition, if you get because there's a swath of hit points. So like in the current edition, if you're 5th level, you could have 60, 70 hit points depending on what things you pick, right? So say you slog through all of that. with a GM that's like, you hit 4 damage, you get hit 15 damage, right? You're not going to have any fun. But the other side of that is, once you get knocked down all the way down and have all those points eradicated, there's a saving throw. If you fail the saving throw, there's another saving throw just in case you failed the saving throw. So did you really fail that? I mean, are you sure? It's that kind of thing. If you fail that one, there's like a certain amount of time where somebody can make like checks or bring you back, or I mean, there's no tension, right? When I was first playtesting Forgotten Ruin as it like a couple of iterations before what it looks like now, I TPK'd my test group twice in the same session, and then one guy made it out alive at the end, like for our third try through, because there's no saving throw against an axe to the head, so like so the speed at which, plus all the hit points are variations of D6, so even a 10th level guy, your most you can have is 9 hit dice, right? So at most you're going to have, not counting bonuses, you're going to have like 50 some odd hit points.
Yeah.
As a tough guy. So, I mean, if they drop some heavy magic on you, you gonna die.
And death is a pretty fun part of games. You're like, there can be role-playing aspects to it, and then there can also be a freedom to like make a new character and things like that, but there's just too much preciousness in a lot of games. And what you'll find with Forgotten Ruin is there's not a lot of preciousness.
No.
Life is a boot to the face. Welcome to Forgotten Ruin.
But I mean, we have what do you call it? I mean, like in the first couple of pages of the first novel, you have a dude who was like a spry 21-year-old ranger, and he gets hexed.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's now old man Sims.
That's it. Yeah. And he's bitter about it. He's bitter that he's old now, and that kind of, and I think that's half the fun. That was, I mean, like when I played the old game back in the days, like it wasn't that you had no idea who you were when you started, but it was all the things that you did that made your character valuable and things like that. And so I think that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And where that really comes in is like, you get to kind of knock around and play the game as a rifleman or a grenadier or whatever weapon system you're operating and whatever class you've chosen, and it's all pretty basic. But then I think the way that Walt has designed this game, where you can make choices at every level, like that's kind of cool, because as you play the character and maybe you get attached to it and maybe you have some adventures you like that open up your experiences, you can suddenly take these alternate paths to kind of modify your character as the game continues. And that's pretty unique and fun.
Yeah, absolutely. The one of the most memorable gaming experiences that we had recently, and this is going back like 6 months ago, I think. I was playing a cleric in a game that we had on the channel. And we had Terry Shapert on, who's a former Green Beret, lover of dogs, adventure junkie. And we had Errol Otis on. There was all this stuff going on. It was just one of those wild games that you're like, I can't believe I played in that. And transitioning through this out of this nightmare world back into the real world, my character fails to save and throw, right? And then fails his system shock. So immediately he explodes into a bucket of chum. I mean, like there was that, but the best thing ever was Terry's reaction, right? Because he was, he's pretty into it. He was having a good time, and plus, we had some talent. We had James Ward, we had Errol Otis, we had Nick on there. I mean, we had a lot of talent around the table. And he was just like, no. I had to clip his reaction and use it as one of my text messages ringtones, because it was so good. And it was just like, that was memorable. That was awesome to have that death because it allowed me, like Nick had said, to explore new characters, but at the same time, it kind of showed that, in the background, this character I'd been playing for all those levels had an impact. He was missed. Somebody was upset that he was gone, and that built tension, because it also said, "Hey, guess what, fuckers? The rest of you are on notice. You could die too."
Yeah, it's really funny, but life is more fun if there are stakes.
It's true, especially if they're cooked well.
Yes.
Sparky was saying that, but that is something I enjoyed in the games here. I had some serious butt puckering moments with Walt as DM. I just knew I was about to bite the dust, so, and Knight of Barsoom's calling me Walt Meat Sauce Robolar. But yeah, I mean, so it's a fun game. I think that basing it on white box was the way to go, because it has that accessibility factor, especially for a lot of our audience who've never gamed before, but are curious about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's rolling. It's pretty cool. When is there going to be a game on the channel soon?
I think that needs to happen, so we can promote it. And I think we can put that together. So before we sheath our swords and go about our various business, so that I can hit some of these buttons on Kickstarter, what are some things that you'd like people to know about Forgotten Ruin?
I'd like them to know that it's when we're talking about the game itself, that I think it's a pretty easy game. If you ever sort of thought, I really would like to have something in my life like this. If I think after the last 2 years of COVID, many people have reached the end of Netflix and found it
wanting.
Once you're watching those Serbian romance dramas, and you're like, 25 episodes. There's a great meme I saw today with this guy. And it's like that moment when you find a thing on Netflix and it's got like 7 seasons and 25 episodes, and the guy's got like one of those giant Costco snakes of popcorn. Just like, it's I think the fun of games is like you actually are getting to live your own soap opera. And there are games that are complex and there are games that are easy. And sometimes, like, the games that are complex, the learning curve is like so bewildering, and the people who play it are like they're like a cult. They're like, you're not one of us yet, you must suffer. And you're like, I just want to play a game. And then the 2 easy games, they're fun, but then you start drinking a beer and playing Munchkins, and and you're like, man, wouldn't it be great if this was an actual campaign? And it's not. It's just psychopathy, but Munchkins is fun. This is a game that's right in the middle, where you can get some friends together, and it's the beauty of Zoom, and we do it here, and the culture, and you can get together and live these things that you're kind of wanting or experiencing out of the books or any other sci-fi that you're reading. Because really, at the end of the day, you don't have to go to the world of Forgotten Ruin with these rules. You can actually, like the guy called up and said, hey, I want to stick this in Vietnam. No problem. You could be the British Fusiliers of 1890 in the world of, I don't know, pick a fantasy setting.
Greyhawk.
Greyhawk. Yeah, like British rifles in Greyhawk. How awesome would that be? I think we're on to something here, and I think it's a good moment to jump in. So go over and check out the Kickstarter. The link is somewhere around here. And if you're not ready to game or whatever, throw a little support in there with just $1, or go nuts and go to Vegas with Walt and Jason and myself. One person already purchased that.
Yeah, he's
so it would be better if more people purchased, because then we could just turn it into a real party. But we're gonna have steak and scotch, and we're gonna play a game in a hotel suite that's gonna be nice. It's not gonna be a shitty suite. It's gonna be a cool suite. It's not gonna be hookers, Don't
get weird.
Don't get weird, But it's gonna be like, whoa, look at me! I'm having an Instagram moment with Walt Robillard and these 2 chungos, and then there's the steak, and then there's the scotch, and then there's Battlefield Vegas. What is Battlefield Vegas, you ask? Battlefield Vegas is this really fun gun range that everybody goes to, and you can shoot anything you want. And someone posted a video of the machine gun from Aliens,
Oh yeah.
And I'm kind of hoping they have that there because I'm like, why wouldn't you have that there? I know it's based on probably like an MG32 or something like that.
Are you talking the smart gun, the big
Yeah,
long
the
one?
smart gun. Yeah,
Yeah,
some guy reproduced it, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
well,
It's a 30 cal.
yeah, okay. I would like to shoot that if they have it. I bet they don't, but I'm sure they've got my favorite, which is the 60. And it's been a long time since I've worked the pig, and I would like
Oh
to go
yeah.
down memory lane with me and the pig. I'd like to be alone. There might be tears.
I just
I
want to
might
make
try to
sure.
steal it right there in front of you. There might
I
be,
just want to make sure that we have room to run so that
yeah,
you steal that,
yeah.
and I'm going to steal the my favorite version of the Thompson machine gun, which is
Oh,
the prop from Aliens.
yes.
So because to have a Thompson submachine gun chambered in 45 with a shotgun underneath it, I'm all about it.
That would be the greatest. That would be one of the greatest things ever. But I think there's a lot of really fun weapons there. So I mean, it's just going to be a day like if you and you know you're like, hey, I need a vacation this year. I'm going to go ruin my life in Vegas. Well, we're the kind of people
Ruin it
that
with us.
yeah, ruin it with us. One couple already did. Like so. Maybe you could do this and it would be fun. And I think we still have 3 more slots. So
Yes, we do. Yep.
if you want to go there, commit.
Yeah. Sparky was saying that he has his kidney on Chinese eBay. As soon as those funds come through, he's gonna knock that tier down.
Yeah, exactly. You can do it, brother.
You can do it. Goals.
Yeah. Surgery recovery is like a day, I heard.
and I'm sure the drugs will keep you up for.
I found that there's a really easy way to do it. Is you go to New Orleans and you get drunk in a bar and you'll wake up in a bathtub full of ice. Some chick gets you hammered. But what you could do is say, listen, I know what you're going to do, lady of the night. How about we cut a deal and you just give me the 5,000 and I'll give you the kidney. You don't have to roofie me and it'll be great. And I don't have to wake up in naked and ashamed in a bathtub full of ice.
Full of ice. KTF Fiend is trying to get Sparky to sell both of them so that he can come too. And Sparky's kind of into it. We want to thank everybody for coming out.
That'll be a great recreation of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles at the Best Western Motel.
Those aren't pillows. Oh my God. Make sure to tell your friends and share the campaign link so that we can get more eyes on the campaign and make this a ruin for everybody. We'll check you next time.